kids, Miss Kulkarni here. In this video, let's talk about formula writing and also naming of ionic compounds. So let's begin. Here is the naming flowchart for ionic compounds. Now let me tell you one secret. Writing a name for ionic compound is as simple as writing your name. Yes, just like you guys have a first name and last name, ionic compounds also have a first and last name. So how do we find out the first and last name for ionic compound? Let's see in the chart. Ionic compound can be formed because either metal or ammonium is combining with a non-metal. It may also combine with a polyion as the anion part. So we get 4 different possibilities of forming ionic compounds. In either case, the first name is name of the metal or ammonium. And how do we get the last name? If the anion is a non-metal, then the last name will always end up with "ide". If it's chlorine, it will be chloride. If it's bromine, it will be bromide. And if it's a polyatomic ion, we simply write down the name of the polyatomic ion as the last name. Isn't it simple? And of course, if there are some weird elements when we have some variable different charges, then we use Roman numeral. Here is the chart for binary ionic compounds naming. Let's look at the first one. This is calcium chloride. Calcium is the first name and chloride is the last name. It's ending with "ide". So actually the element is chlorine and the ion will be chloride ion. Now how do we get these ion charges? Just by looking at periodic table and locating the elements in periodic table. So calcium comes in group number 2 and that's why charge is positive 2. Chlorine, if you remember, comes in group number 17 and it tries to gain electrons, so it's negative 1. And in this column, we try to cancel the charges, so the net charge on the ionic compound is 0. So with positive 2, we need to have 2 negative 1s to cancel the charge, which indicates that we need to have 2 chlorine ions there, and the formula is CaCl2. Same goes with aluminum oxide. Al is group number 13 and oxygen is group number 16. So that gives you charge positive 3 for aluminum and negative 2 for oxygen. Here we try to cancel the charges and we get, that's why, 2 aluminum and 3 oxygen. Okay, let's try the remaining 2. Lithium fluoride. Lithium symbol is Li. If you remember, lithium comes in group number 1. That means the charge is positive 1. Fluoride ion comes from fluorine atom and fluorine is in group number 17. So the charge is negative 1. How do the charges cancel? It's positive 1, negative 1 equals 0. That means we only need 1 atom each. Let's take one more example. Magnesium and phosphide. Magnesium, what is the group number? It's of course 2. That means the charge is positive 2. And phosphide is group number 15. And if you look at that, it's negative 3 as the charge. So in order for us to cancel, we need to have positive 2 3 times and negative 3 2 times. That tells you we need to have 3 Mg atoms and 2 phosphide atoms. So it's Mg3P2 magnesium phosphide. Alright, let's do more practice. Here is zinc iodide. Zinc is Zn positive 2. You better remember the charge. Iodide is group number 17, so it will be negative 1. And how does the balancing go? It is 2 negative 1 charges with 1 positive 2. So that's the formula Zni2. How about gallium bromide? Gallium is positive 3. Bromide is negative 1. So it will be 1 positive 3 and 3 negative 1. So that gives you GaBr3. So can you work on the next one? I'm sure you can. So let's check your answers. Potassium is positive 1, sulfide is negative 2, and then that gives you K2S as potassium sulfide. For silver bromide, remember silver is positive 1, bromide negative 1, which gives you 1 ion each, and it's AgBr. Now this is naming ionic compounds. You just need to find out the first name and last name for the ionic compound, and we're done. So first compound is CaCl2. Ca is the first name and Ca stands for calcium. Cl is chlorine, but if it's an ionic compound, remember we add IDE. So that becomes chloride. So there you go. The compound is calcium chloride. How about the next one? The first name is going to be aluminum, and the last name is, the element is oxygen, and we are going to add ide, so it's oxide. Same thing with the remaining two. The first name is sodium, and it's oxygen again, so it's oxide. And then over here, the first name is Ba, stands for barium, and I is iodide. There you go. See how simple it was to write a chemical formula and name ionic compounds. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you all in next video. Until then, bye bye.